The phone rang once, then again, and then it stopped. On the kitchen counter, beside an untouched cup of coffee, her name glowed on the cracked phone screen, Alina Cruz. Gabriel stared at it until the screen dimmed. He didn't move, didn't breathe. The call had come 2 years too late. Outside, the rain pressed softly against the window. Not loud, just steady. The kind of rain that doesn't wash anything away, just reminds you what's still clinging. He finally picked up the phone. No voicemail, just silence. He whispered, almost to the air, "You still know my number." 2 years ago, they had fought in this same apartment. It was loud, messy, final. He'd said things that felt true in the moment and cruel in hindsight. She'd said she was done waiting for him to heal. And she meant it. Elena had packed her things that night, the framed photo of her parents, her watercolor brushes, the half-finished portrait of him she'd refused to destroy. Then she was gone. Gabriel watched her drive away through the rain. He thought she'd call when she cooled off. She didn't. He tried to rebuild his life, or something that looked like it. He started running again, joined a new firm, smiled at parties. But grief has its own gravity. It pulls quietly. Every now and then, he'd find her things, a hair tie under the couch, a post-it note in her handwriting, "Buy milk, smiley face." Small ghosts that refused to fade. He told himself closure was a choice. He just hadn't chosen it yet. Now, staring at the missed call, that illusion cracked. He hadn't heard her voice since the night they broke apart. He opened his messages. The last one was hers. "You'll regret this one day." He had. Every day since. He sat down, fingers trembling as he opened the news app. He didn't know why, but something told him to check. There it was. Local artist dies in car crash. Tributes pour in for Alina Cruz. His chest went still. The photo beneath the headline was her, smiling at the camera, paint-stained hands, eyes that once looked only at him. He read the article twice, each word slicing slower than the last. Rain blurred the glass, and he realized it wasn't just rain anymore. He sank to the floor, phone in hand, whispering to no one, "Why did you call?" Days passed without rhythm. People reached out, friends, co-workers, even his sister. But their voices sounded distant, like he was underwater. He went to her art studio, the one she'd opened 6 months after leaving him. The landlord let him in after a quiet nod. The smell of turpentine and lavender hit him. The walls were covered in color, wild, emotional, alive. And there, on the center easel, was a painting. Unfinished. A man standing by a window, phone in hand, looking out at the rain. His face wasn't detailed yet, but the outline, it was him. He sat on the wooden stool she'd used, touched the brush still resting beside the palette. It was dry, like it had waited too long. He spent the rest of the evening in silence. The city outside dimmed to a hum, and he finally understood something he'd never let himself feel before. She had been painting her closure. He'd been avoiding his. He picked up his phone again, opened the call log. There it was. Missed call, 10:07 p.m. The article said the accident happened at 10:15. 8 minutes. That was all that separated what could have been from what was. He pressed the call button anyway. It rang once, then went straight to voicemail. Her recorded voice filled the quiet. "Hey, it's Elena. Leave something real." He froze. Then softly, "I should have called back sooner. I should have said I was sorry. You were right. I was just afraid to feel it all, but I do now." He paused. "You mattered, Elena. More than I ever said." He ended the call. Weeks later, he held her memorial invitation, cream paper, her name embossed in silver. He stood at the back of the gallery where her final works hung. People whispered around him, admiring her brilliance, her colors, her soul. He moved closer to one piece, the same unfinished portrait. But now someone had completed it. Her friend, maybe. The man's face was done. His eyes were closed, his expression calm. He read the small inscription beside it. "Closure doesn't mean goodbye. It means I learned how to remember you without breaking." He smiled for the first time in months. That night, back in his apartment, Gabriel placed the framed invitation on his desk beside the phone. Outside, the rain began again. Soft, patient, familiar. His phone buzzed once. A spam text, nothing special. Still, he looked at it and whispered, "Hey, Elena." I answered this one. He poured a cup of coffee, sat by the window, and let the quiet fill the space she once held. This time, the silence didn't hurt. It just existed. Like she still did, somewhere between memory and peace. He exhaled and said, almost smiling, "I'm okay now." If this story spoke to you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories where love meets life.